my plate. It smells scrumptious. No, it smells really hot. Not because I made it, but it really does. Alright, so I'm hungry, and guess what time it is, guys? It's like 7:30. Paul's about to leave again, and I haven't ate. So, bacalao, onions. I put the peppers. You gotta have the aguacate. This is so good. And I like to cook the Guanimos inside of the sauce with the aguacate because it gives it all that flavor. And the dumplings, the Guanimos, actually start to suck up the juices from the bacalao, so it's really, really good. Plus the aguacate. Delicious. And remember, don't put a lot of salt. Remember, don't put a lot of salt because the bacalao already has salt, so you don't want your dish to be too salty. Plus, this dish you really don't have to add a lot of seasoning because, like I said, the bacalao makes, gives flavor to the whole dish, so it's delicious. Alright guys, make sure you have a big pot like where you boil like spaghettis, and make sure you have like a little more than half of the pot filled with water, and then salt that water like you would do pasta, because that salt is what's going to give the dumpling, the Guanimos, like a little, a little flavor. So we're going to start rolling. As I said, I started to add the warm water slowly here because we kind of want to make a doughy consistent with the flour. And if you add too much water, guys, just add some salt. Some salt. If you add too much water, just add more flour to it. It's not, no big deal. And make sure your water's warm. This is the part that I hate. And it sticks to your fingers. I think some just flew out of the bowl. It's hard to like see what I'm doing because okay, so just keep rolling it. And this is messy in case anyone hasn't told you. Okay guys, so after you got incorporate some of the water in here, which we didn't use 4 cups obviously. After we massage it, what we're gonna do, I like to just put a little flour in my hands so that the dough doesn't stick to it, which is going to anyways. But all right guys, so you take about this much. It depends on the size of your dumpling, so I usually do about this much, the size of a baseball, and you roll it. So it's up to you if you like yours thick or thin, or in the middle. Okay, and I put that one down, and then we go to the next. So here we go. And dumplings is something you can make with anything that has sauce. If it soaks it up is better. This dish is actually better the next day. So if you're going to entertain, they're not always going to be perfect. My grandmother, for some reason, always had them perfect, honey, but mine don't come out perfect. But if you're going to entertain or have people over, this is like the perfect recipe to do the night before or the morning before, because the next day is going to taste amazing. It tastes even better. So, and people love this. I mean, if they're into like, you know, seafood or fish, they'll love this. And it looks like you spend all day in the kitchen, which you really wouldn't. Okay, so I'm not gonna bore you. I think you guys got the idea of how to make it. Well, at least this is my way of making it. So I'm just gonna continue to make my guanimos, my dumplings. And if you don't want to make them long, guys, and you just want to make them, you know, into little balls, let me show you. You can actually make them into little balls like this and just make the bacalao, and then and just make a bunch of little balls on the side, and then just put them in. It'll be the same thing. So you can do something like this and just drop them all inside of the bacalao, and it's the same thing. They don't have to be long. If you don't want it to, it's your preference. Okay, now I think I'm just gonna leave this one in there because it's already made. All right, guys, I don't want to bore you. I'll be right back. All right, guys, so for the best part is the bacalao. So for the bacalao sauce that we're going to be making, we need the star of the show, right? Bacalao. So remember, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that I used 2 packs of bacalao. So these are my 2 packs of bacalao. They've been soaking in cool water since this morning, and I changed the water, I want to say maybe 2-3 times, not sure. But this is the bacalao, okay? Then we're going to season that with some cumin, salsa tomate, sprinkle some pepper, some garlic, sofrito, and we're going to kind of stir fry the onions and everything first in some olive oil. So that's 1/4 of olive oil. Guys, these are the only peppers that I have available. So, because you guys know that I had mentioned in my other video that Paul made curry. So he used all the other peppers. So I have to rip that off. But these are the peppers that I have, and I'm going to be using some red onions. And if you have fresh garlic, feel free to put the fresh garlic in, and the sofrito, you could put sofrito. I don't have sofrito, but I forgot. And if you have fresh garlic, I will use a head of garlic, only because I'm using 2 bags, so you can use whatever you prefer. But yeah, I'm gonna use garlic powder. So let's get this bad boy started. All right, guys, so while we were making the dumplings, the water came to a boil and we salted the water, okay? So these are all the dumplings I made. So I'm gonna start adding them in. And you see they're all like one's one side, that one's there, that's all right. One's bigger, one's smaller. I know some people are gonna be like, her dumplings aren't all the same. No, they're not. I don't think I've ever gotten the dumplings the same size. So if yours don't look perfect, look at mine. Look at this one. Bendito. Okay, so now we're just dumping these in here. And we're going to cook these for about 30 minutes. 30 to 40 minutes, depending on how many you put in the pot. And these are all gonna, once they're in the process of almost being done, they're actually all gonna start to rise. I'm being silly, guys, but yeah, once they start, when they're about done, they'll start to rise. And listen, this recipe If you don't want to use the bacalao because for some reason you may not like fish, or maybe you just don't like bacalao, you can also make this with chicken. So maybe even with a smothered chicken. Yeah, maybe, yeah, with smothered chicken. I love smothered chicken. Okay, so we're gonna cook this uncovered for 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, we'll be back. All right, guys, so to my pot I am going to add the olive oil. And to the olive oil I'm going to add some of the peppers and onion that's been diced up. Okay, and we're going to warm that up together. So to this you'll warm up the red peppers, the fresh garlic, and your onions, whether you know your onions be white, red, whatever you choose to use, it'll be fine. Alright guys, so our pepper's been cooking, and onions, and for you garlic. And now we're going to start adding our bacalao. You can shred the bacalao as I'm doing, or you can dump it in. It will eventually break up once you add the your sauce and everything else, okay? So I'm just going to keep breaking this apart. And of course I'm going to have a piece, because every time I make a bacalao, I got to take a little piece and taste it, because it's delicious. Okay guys, so I shredded all the bacalao. I added all the bacalao in the pot. And to that I'm going to add my seasoning, which is 1 tablespoon of cumin, 2 tablespoons of garlic powder, and 1 teaspoon of black pepper. Like I said, all this is optional, and do not over season your bacalao because bacalao is already salty. And then I'm going to add 1 packet of the sazon for color. Okay, and we're going to let this do its own thing. So I'm going to grab a lid, which I forgot to grab, and I'm going to let this cook on its own for about 15 minutes. Where is my lid? Sorry. Alright, so we're going to cover this for 15 minutes on medium heat. So it's been about 10 minutes, and this is what we have. You see it's just kind of broken down. We have some of the juices there from the bacalao, and I have it on medium heat. So now what I'm going to do to this, I like to do this this is something I like to do. I like to take the a soup spoon and I fill it. This is the water that we salted for the Guanimos. If you don't want to put the 2 spoons of water in here, you don't have to. The reason that I do it is because I'm going to take the Guanimos and I'm going to put them in here, and I'm going to let all this cook together so the Guanimos can get all that juice that's in here. So now I'm going to add a half a can of tomato sauce. Doesn't have to be Goya, guys. Remember, it can be whatever brand you have available. Okay, and we're gonna stir this together. It smells so good. I had to pause the video while I went to get Gigi from school. She's like, oh my God, Mommy, it smells so good in here. It smells like shrimp. What you making? I said bacalao. And she was like, oh. I'm like, boy, you like bacalao, but she'd rather have shrimp. Okay, guys, so here we have it. Okay, so now we're going to add our peppers and onions to this. Okay, and we're going to stir. And we're going to cook this covered for 10 more minutes. The smoke. Okay, guys, so it's been 10 minutes. And I am going to start adding my dumplings, my Guanimos, okay? Oh, I'm sorry. And once the Guanimos were done, they started to rise. I'm sorry, I didn't even take that because I went to get Gigi. They will start to rise, and I just turned the water off, and I cooked them for 30 minutes, and I just turned the water off. I went to get Gigi, and then I finished this off. So you can just let them sit there. Mine, some of them look a little retarded, but it's all good because when you're eating them, what it looks like doesn't matter. I mean, that's, you know, but they don't look that bad. My Guanimos always look like this, so. But they're very tasty. So after 30 minutes, you can let them sit in the water if you're not ready to use them. And don't throw the water out because as you see, I used some of the water and I'm going to use more of it to put in here, okay? Because I just want to cover, all the Guanimos. And I still have some of the water left. Oh, look at this guy over here. This is the one I made that was around. And I said you guys can make them round as well. So there's that one. I should make some like that. Those look kind of cute. So I'm just using this water. It already has starch. The starch from the Guanimo. What the? Oh, my stove. Okay guys, so I just uncovered it and I turned some of them around and it's done. It smells delicious and I can't wait to eat. So because Paul is an amazing husband, he went out to get aguacate. So this is the final presentation and it's ready to serve. So I'm going to plate it now. But you know what? Let me just take a little taste and see how it tastes. Oh my God, just want that little piece of bacalao. You guys see? Yum. I gotta eat. It tastes delicious and I didn't even put sofrito, so imagínate, it's good. Not because I made it, but it is, guys. The bacalao gives it all the flavors, so there's not much you have to do with this. It's delicious, you gotta try it. Let me plate this.